The No Fade channel, checking in. On this episode of Dad's Gadgets, I'm going to be talking to you on how you can save some big time bucks on razor blades, why they get dull, how you can prolong their life, and probably most importantly, if this Blade Buddy razor blade sharpener actually works or if it's a piece of junk. If this is your first time to the channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button down below. On this Dad's Gadget series, I simply review gadgets that come across my desk to help you decide if it is worth your hard-earned money, to help you decide if they actually work, and to help you decide if it's something that you should be incorporating into your household, into your lifestyle, into your daily routine. I recently went on Amazon and searched for razor blade sharpeners, and as you might imagine, with regards to Amazon, there's a couple thousand of them on there in all different shapes, colors, makes, models, and whatever. And I ended up going with the Blade Buddy Razor Care. I think I paid about $8 for it. But since my memory's not that great, I'll put a photo of exactly what I paid up here. Keep in mind, it's still in the package. I have no idea if this thing works, and we're going to find out together if this thing works. So what does it say? This is supposed to make every shave smoother and more comfortable, protect skin against redness and irritation, ingrown hair, nicks and cuts, keep blades sharper longer, which is what we're really focusing on today's video, to save you money and reduce waste. Always good to keep stuff out of the trash, at least longer if you can avoid it. Also, it works on all popular men's and women's blades, including disposables. Quick and easy to use. So this is for you men and women out there. I know you women go through razor blades as well. So let's quickly talk about razor blades. As we know, when you probably first started shaving like I did, they had two blades, right? Back in the day, it was one blade, then they went to two blades. Now there are three blades, there's four blades. I think there's five blades with like a vibrator in there to kind of even out the skin. There's all sorts of crazy things to drive the price of those blades up, up, up. And even though the price of the blades has gone up, the longevity of those blades has not necessarily matched in lockstep with the price increase. I will say that the blades today do tend to last a little bit longer, but I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they're so expensive. We as users tend to use them longer than we should before we toss them. And oftentimes, you know when to throw them out because you're shaving and your shave isn't that close, or you've got to kind of like weed whack the thing multiple times to get yourself fully shaved, and you get nicks and cuts, and it is annoying. So as you can see, I have not shaved in about 4 to 5 days. I can't remember, but I purposely didn't shave for this video because we're going to do a scientific study of a sample size of 1. Why do razor blades get dull, right? Is it the blade getting dull itself, or what's the cause of you getting extra nicks and just not getting as clean of a shave when a blade is brand new? Two main reasons. Number one, the blade itself does get dull. One way to combat that is to make sure that when you store the blade, when you're done using the blade, you don't put it away wet. Very much like a knife, you don't want to put your blade away wet. You want to make sure that it is dry. How do I do it? Well, I am lazy, so the first thing I do when I'm done shaving and I've rinsed the blade is to give it like a really good shake, right? Get as much water off as you can, and then I take it on a towel and just dab it really nice and gentle. Just give it a couple of dabs to make sure it is dry and there's no prevalent water on top of the blade. And I found that has helped a significant amount reducing the waste of the blade and making sure I get as long a life as possible. Typically with the blades that I use, I do get about a month per blade. Sometimes I stretch it to 6 weeks, and that is stretching it, to be fair. And let's talk about the second reason, and probably the biggest reason that these blades go bad, and that doesn't have to do with the blade getting dull. It has to do with the alignment of the blades themselves. Unfortunately, as you use them, as you go over your face, as you put them in the drawer, take them out of the drawer, the blades get bent. You can't see it with the naked eye, but the blades just get bent. They get out of alignment, especially where you have multiple blades stacked upon each other. If they're out of alignment and they're slightly bent, you get those nicks, you get those cuts, and you get that factor where you've got to go over the same spot multiple times. So the idea behind this Blade Buddy is to get your blades lasting you longer amount of time. If your blades can last a longer time, you're not throwing them in the trash as often, and you're saving money. And money that you save is money that goes in your pocket. And environmentally, it's obviously good not to just take those razor blades and throw them right in the trash because they're not really recyclable, at least the ones that I use. So let's quickly go over what we're going to be doing for today's experiment to see if this Blade Buddy lives up to the hype and if I should expect to get my $8 that I spent back on the longevity of the blade. So we've got two Gillette 3-bladed blades. As you can see, this one, hopefully you can see this, cap still on it, brand new. And I've got this one that is at least a month old, and this thing should have been thrown away. To be honest with you, the last time I used it, I was like, I should throw this away. And then I remembered I wanted to do this little project for you. So we've got two blades and we are going to test them. I am actually going to shave one side of my face with the new blade as the control, so you can actually see what a brand new blade does with this thick little week's growth here. Then I am going to sharpen this on this. How does it work? We'll go over it, but basically you put a little shaving cream on your blade, you move this from down to up 15 to 20 times, and that is supposed to realign the blades. So again, so it takes those little bent blades and realigns them to allow for a more precise and a cleaner shave. Again, the idea is to prolong the longevity of these blades. How will I know if this is a success? Well, we're not going to know until we're done, and I'll put my face up so you guys can get an idea of which side looks smoother, or ideally, if this thing does work, both sides will look exactly the same or very, very close to it. The idea is just to get a longer life out of your blade. Now, is your blade going to last forever? No. But if your blade is like mine and you normally get a month and you can stretch it to 7 weeks or even 2 months, you're doubling your money per blade, or at the very least, I should say, you're reducing your cost in half in terms of your use. So I think it's worth the experiment, and hopefully we'll see a success, because one thing I would like to do more than just prevent this constant throwing away of razor blades is to save money. It is a gorgeous fall day here in New England, so I'm going to finish up my review of the Blade Buddy outside. Frankly, with regards to fall here in New England, it starts off really nice and ends up very cold. So in a week or two, I don't expect to be able to actually get out here in shorts and a t-shirt to make videos. So I'm taking advantage of it while I can. With regards to my review and thoughts of the Blade Buddy, absolutely worth it. On the first instance, I am sold. Here's 3 main reasons. Number one, it was worst case scenario. I had 4 or 5 days of growth, and if you've ever kind of tried to hack through a lot of excess hair on your face, it tends to lead to a lot of nicks, a lot of cuts, and a lot of discomfort. And I should have gotten hair clippers and kind of trimmed it down just a little bit, but I didn't. And so it was worst case scenario, and it went smashingly. Number 2 is that I noticed right away when I was using this old blade that it was smooth. It felt good on my face. It felt like it was cutting sharp, and it felt like the new blade that I used on this side of my face. So right away there was a huge difference in terms of just how it felt on my face with regards to smoothness, with regards to less irritation than it normally would have after over a month of use. And then thirdly, it only cost $8. It was $8. And frankly, I can't tell the difference which is the new blade and which is the old blade. Maybe you guys can, but when I was looking in the mirror and I really kind of got up close and personal, I couldn't tell which got a better cut. They both looked exactly the same, the new blade and the month-old blade. And if you've ever had a month-old blade, you know that they don't cut as nice and as clean and as fresh as the new blades. And probably an honorable mention about why I'm sold on this Blade Buddy is that it didn't take much time. Not only did it only cost about $8, and again, I'll put the code up here or the photo up here, and I'll put an affiliate link in the description below so you can find the specific one that I'm using. Of course, there are a bunch of other ones out there, and I did pay for this myself, so that Blade Buddy didn't want me to do this review or didn't reach out to me in any way, shape, or form. But for $8, you're definitely going to get your money back. And again, it was easy. For the camera, I took my time moving the blade up 15 to 20 times and making sure that it was nice and sharp and making sure that it got on the camera. But in a pinch, on a day-to-day basis, it's probably going to take me an extra 10 seconds anyway. Just 10 seconds, boom, you're done. You're on your way to not only a nice, clean, fresh shave without nicks, cuts, and razor bumps, but you're also going to be saving a ton of money. And at $8 or $9, it's going to pay for itself probably in the second month of just saving on having to use extra blades. Wait a minute. I promised you a 1-month review of the Blade Buddy, and I'm going to deliver. So when I initially did my review, I thought it was worth it based on one-time use of a blade that I was ready to throw away. Since then, I stand by that decision. I was going to throw that blade away the day I made that video, but the reality is I only just threw it away now, 3 weeks later, and I feel like I got my money's worth of the Blade Buddy. At least going forward, it's going to pay for itself probably by the second or third blade. 3 weeks additional use is a lifetime when you might only be using your blade for 4 or 5 weeks. So I think that is beyond my expectations. Keep in mind, the idea is, 1, reduce the amount of blades you're going to be throwing in the trash, and 2, probably more importantly, save on that money. If you can get 3 extra weeks out of a blade, that's that much more you're going to save. So a few caveats I would say. Number 1, obviously your usage is going to differ from my usage. I shave about 5 days a week, and I'll shave my face. Sometimes I'll shave my arms and my chest. I know, too much information, but I'm just trying to give you an idea of the usage that I went through. Everyone's usage is different, and their hair thickness and density is going to be different as well. But for me, I think this is going to be a great tool to save money and help protect the environment. One thing of note, one thing you should note, if you have a blade, most of us do, that have like a lubrication strip at the top, I would say this: don't start using your Blade Buddy until that lubrication strip is like worn away. So for me, that's usually like week 3 or week 4, because I've got a sinking feeling if you use that Blade Buddy from day 1, it's going to prematurely wipe away that lubrication strip just from all those reps you're going to be putting on it while you try to align that blade. Hopefully you found this review informative. If you have any Blade Buddy questions, drop them in the comments below. In the description of this video, I'm going to put an Amazon affiliate link. You click on that link, it takes you right to the Blade Buddy that I specifically use, and hopefully it saves you from going through Amazon and trying to find it. It does help me out, and it does help keep the lights on. So of course, I appreciate you clicking on that link. If you came this far in the video, you know what to do. Give this video a like, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. As usual, thanks for watching, and don't save anything for the trip back.